Hey guys, it's Ashley Rae from letstalkraestyle.com bringing you another video. This one is titled More Nipsey Hussle News. So, I'm going to give you just like a little recap of all the things that I have read as far as Nipsey Hussle's estate and what's going on with his brand and his children. So, first I'm going to start off with the name, The Marathon Continues, which is one of Nipsey Hussle's albums. And I believe it's his clothing line, like basically it's his trademark. So the Crips, which is the gang that Nipsey Hussle was affiliated with, the Rolling 60s to be exact, put in a request to trademark the name The Marathon Continues. Now, a lot of people were in an uproar about this, and I just didn't understand why, because the reason for them trademarking the name is to prevent children from falling victim to gangs, an educational center, and there were like two other things that the gang wanted to trademark the name for, but it was all positive things, which isn't surprising to me because even though Nipsey Hussle, how do I want to say this? He basically, spent his life educating the people in his neighborhood, and that includes gang members because that is a part of his neighborhood. That is a part of LA life, period, actually. So it wouldn't surprise me that they felt, the need to trademark it and to continue his legacy within the community for the greater good, right? So the problem comes in because Nipsey Hussle's brother, Black Sam, also put in a request to trademark TMC, The Marathon Continues. So his reasoning behind like what he's going to do with the name The Marathon Continues differs from what the Crips were going to do with the name, but both reasons were all for positive things, so it's like, sheesh, how do you work that out? So anyhow, the trademark hasn't been given to either one of them yet. And I'm figuring that they're going to have to work something out because once those documents are received and processed and they see that there's more than one request for this within the same state, that's definitely going to cause some, not issues, but it has to be worked out because they both can't have it. So it'll be interesting to see how that plays out, but I would really like for people to stop judging groups of people based upon what you have been told by the media and other people involving gangs, okay? Because it was just like a lot of negative feedback when people heard that the gang was actually trying to trademark The Marathon Continues, and I'm just like, did you guys forget that Nipsey Hussle was a part of a gang? Like the very same gang that is trying to trademark the name. Just because you have these preconceived notions about what gangs are and how people are within them does not make that true. What you read and see on movies or TV or in the newspaper is not always the case. So yeah, reach out and touch some people. In today's society with so much media, social media, not just media, we can be our own media, so you can take the time to like research these things yourself. But as I said, I don't think either one of those, his brother Black Sam or the Crips, like they both had great ideas with using the name, and I think both would make Nipsey Hussle proud. Okay, so with that being said, that's wrapped up. The next thing, Nipsey Hussle's sister is requesting to gain custody of his daughter now since Nipsey Hussle has passed away. She has had a great hand in raising her since Nipsey Hussle had full custody of her. So, of course, now Nipsey's baby mama is like, oh no, I'm not having that. Like, no, she's not going to raise my daughter. And she went like on this Twitter rant about how her and Nipsey never really stopped messing around, and people forget who was there with him from the very beginning. And I just feel like that was really childish because one, what her and Nipsey Hussle may or may not have done has absolutely nothing to do with having custody of your child. And I feel like maybe the mom wasn't stable, like mentally, and that's the reason why Nipsey had full custody of their daughter anyway. And her posting messages like that on Twitter is like that proves that you have some issues. Like, why would you want to bring negative attention to that light? And for her to say something like her and Nipsey never stopped messing around, like, first of all, she has a man. So how does your man feel? Like, how does he feel about her saying something like that? I keep saying you as if I'm talking directly to her. But how does her dude feel about her saying something like that? Like, basically trying to admit that, she's been cheating on him with Nipsey Hussle. And, she's clearly saying that to get some attention so that people can try to address Lauren London about such a thing. And it's just like, you can just tell where people were and where they are, like, in stages of life. Because the Nipsey Hussle that we knew of would never even deal with a woman like that, right? But younger, unevolved Nipsey Hussle clearly did. But you can see, like, how people cannot go with you on all levels of life when you're elevating yourself. And her making that tweet and those comments was a perfect example. And she didn't say anything about having custody of her daughter. Like, you just want attention. You don't even really want your child. That's what it sounds like to me. And it's nothing wrong with a father having full custody of, his daughter or his son or anything, because I'm a firm believer in equal parenting. Like, no, the woman should not always have to have full custody or whatever the case may be. Like, parenting is a two-party situation. And the mother and the father are equally yoked. So I don't even have a problem with that. But I just feel like she doesn't really want full custody of her daughter. She just wants the attention and wants things to look a certain way. Like, she wants to be a victim to the hype of Nipsey Hussle. And that's exactly what it sounds like. But I just thought that was shady and it was worth addressing. And I really hate that people do things like that when someone dies. Like, come on now. Have some respect for yourself if you can't have some respect for the dead. What you may or may not have done is not anybody's business, really. That's for you to take up with your higher power and whatever energy Nipsey may or may not have left around you. But you don't always have to, go straight to the negative or tell a story in order to get attention. The focus should be on the child and not, what you're trying to get people on social media to recognize about you. So that's all I have on the Nipsey Hussle thing. I'm still really hurt about the Nipsey Hussle situation. Like, I feel like ultimately I lost a brother, and ultimately I did, because we're all connected. So you don't have to be directly related to someone for things to affect you. And that's something else I wanted to talk about. So I think you all know that I'm an advocate. I'm an advocate for Black people first. I'm an advocate for our rights. I'm an advocate for the things that we do for each other and with each other. And I've been like this for a while, like, I wasn't always woke, but I'm going to say at least the last 5 years I have been, pretty much. And it bothers me that so many people do not care about the violence that happens to Black people from other races or ethnicities, or from our own race or ethnicity, until it is someone in their family that dies. And it shouldn't be that way. And that's my whole point for my advocacy. I'm trying to get people to understand that no matter if it happens to someone who lived around the corner from you or someone that is in a different country than you that looks like you. If they are not free, if they are not treated equally, if they are oppressed, which Black people all across the globe are oppressed, then you are oppressed because it does affect you because it's someone that looks like you. Like, we are all connected. So you can't don't get me wrong. Let me think about how I want to say this before I say it. I think many of us have lost someone in a violent or uneasy way, and it doesn't get easier with time. Like, it still hurts. But my thing is, you cannot be mad at the world when it happens directly to you and your family, when you didn't have any remorse, concern, or anything else when it happened to someone else. Like, I mean, you can feel how you want to feel, but what I'm just saying is it's not right. Like, we all need to be on the same page. We all need to be advocates against violence. You know, that's just how it has to be. And unfortunately, you know, in this world that we live in, as far as I know, people die every day, every single day. None of us are exempt from this. I could die tomorrow. I could go to sleep and never wake up. Like, that is just the world that we live in. That's just life, period. There is no life without loss or grief or pain. That's just the way life is. And it's all about how we handle it, how we recover from it. Do we spiral out of control? Do we try to control ourselves to our best abilities? Do we search for understanding? You know, you just have to, these are just things that we have to deal with as long as we live. And unfortunately, we have to just come to terms with that. Anyway, okay, I'm done with that rant. So I'm going to challenge anybody who watches this video to write down 10 things that they are grateful for every day starting today. Now, I think I started 2 days ago, but I didn't write them down. I actually told them to another person. But yesterday I started writing them down. So I wrote down 10 things yesterday and I wrote down 10 things today. So I'm going to continue this because it's a lot of things that we actually have that we take for granted. Like clean running water, water that you can drink out of the faucet, hot water, air conditioning, life, good health. Do you know how many people are suffering from some type of illness, you know, and all they want is to be healthy? So I am challenging you all, whomever watches this video, to write down 10 things that you're grateful for every single day. It doesn't matter how small, how big, it could be anything. One of the things that I wrote down I was grateful for was my dog. And I am grateful for him. I love my dog. So that was just an example of one of the 10 things that I said that I was grateful for. So if you're going to accept the challenge, go ahead and put yes or I accept the challenge in the comments. And that's all I have for you today. So don't forget to visit letstalkraestyle.com for more blogs, articles, and conversations. Like, share, and subscribe this video. And follow me on Instagram. Let's talk Rae, R-A-E, style. All right. Till then, see you later. Smooches.